أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الحمد لله رب العالمين الرحمن الرحيم مالك يوم الدين إياك نعبد وإياك نستعين اهدنا الصراط المستقيم صراط الذين أنعمت عليهم غير المغضوب عليهم ولا الضالين ربنا آتنا في الدنيا حسنة وفي الآخرة حسنة وقنا عذاب النار سبحان ربك رب العزة عما يصفون والصلاة على المرسلين الحمد لله رب العالمين.
Father, we want to tell you thank you. We make it possible for make we all there. Tell you thank you. We don't bring we all under this one roof. Pray that within this organization don't put us in gold. We don't set forward. We pray that we go achieve them. Pray that you go bless with the hands of all you and we don't can today. Pray that this organization will move forward.
Welcome here today. This is the Third Way movement. It's been a very long journey for us to be here today. Give praise to God, and I want to welcome all of you here today in the opening of the Secretariat of the Third Way movement. As you all know, Third Way is for civic engagement, community development, rural development. It's all about knowing your rights. I think the main motive for this Secretariat and for this movement is based for that. So I want to tell you all thanks, and you are most welcome here today, and we hope this will be a success. I thank you all. You are most welcome.
Good afternoon. Once again, you are all welcome. This is the Third Way movement. You know, as we all know, there has been so many problems with citizenship and the government. So this idea was born by Mr. Sulaiman Fona and Madam Jobsina Momo, you know, in order to empower students, young people about their civic engagement and responsibilities. We hope to achieve this in the coming years by targeting students into different campuses with attire-based social organizations and all. You know, the Third Way is not about being an opposition to the government. It's an auxiliary group to help the government achieve its goals. We will be teaching civic engagement, not only the people to ask the government questions, but to be able to understand what are their own objectives in helping the government to succeed. So Third Way movement is open to everybody. We are calling on every citizen, every youth, be you in any political party, region, or we don't want to know about that. All we know about is inclusiveness. As you have seen, if you check our agenda here, you will see our motto as equality. Equality counts on everybody, irrespective of your tribe, your religion, your region, or your political orientation. You are welcome at the Third Way.
One of the priority activity of the Third Way movement is psychosocial support. And we all know what psychosocial support means to us. It's about our mental thinking, about our social relating, how we relate to community, how we relate to one another. It's also about our spiritual well-being and also about our emotional well-being. We know how that has affected Sierra Leone as a country today. Look at the rate at which mental health is increasing in our country. And Sierra Leone does not have the capacity to handle the mental cases that comes through. We have a population of 7 million people. We only have 2 psychiatric doctors, psychiatrist nurses. That is not enough to take care of a population of 7 million people. So the Third Way movement wants to go into the communities, into our different areas, to advocate to people, to counsel them, to know what the problem is so that we can know how we can help to solve them. Most of our youths have gone into drugs because of their psychological thinking. You know how the government is operating, how the country is operating. There is stress, everything. So the people cannot handle some of this thing. In our immediate, in our society today, we have the coronavirus everywhere. That is also affecting the mental thinking of people, because you know what that means. It's not just for Sierra Leone. We have things coming up from different countries. We know how we have relatives on the other side that used to support us. If this goes out of hands, we know what that means for our mental health. Some people just depend on that. So all of that, we want to go into the community, engage people on how they can be able to handle those things and drugs in the society. We want to help people to change their mindset. We want to rebuild social structures in the country as a whole. The third way, we want to change people into active survivors rather than being passive victims.
The Third Way movement decided to form a civic education that will go on the rampage in order for us to sensitize youth so that they will be aware of their rights, duties, and obligations in the state. Of course, youth are now engaging into alcohol, drug. As a result, they are not enlightened. We all believe that an enlightened society is a developed society. And we as a Third Way organization will ensure we reach out to the general populace, the youth within the university, the communities, the schools, in order for them to be aware of their civic rights and responsibility. And what we have done so far is that we have supported the Frabe College Students Camp in order for them to be able to study well with a small amount of money. And again, what we have also working on is for us to see how best we can establish chapters within the various universities across Sierra Leone and also within schools. Not only to establish, but also to see how we can educate them about their civic rights and responsibility.
So, gender equality talks about the equal opportunities given to both men and women. In our society today, we have found out that the society is male-dominated. If you take, for example, in our ministerial positions, 95% of the jobs of the ministerial positions are given to men, leaving the women behind. Because society have made women believe that society have made women to shy away from their responsibility, from their duties and responsibilities, and have made women believe that they are not up to the task, that what men can do, women cannot do. But in actual fact, if these opportunities are given to women, the opportunities that are given to men, if they are given to women, the women can do it better than the men. So the Third Way movement have come to help women to boost up their confidence, because confidence is what we lack.
What's the Third Way movement? What's its function? How does it dovetail the Constitution of Sierra Leone? The Constitution of Sierra Leone has within its sections provisions which deal with the fundamental principles of our state policies. These principles are our guiding principles. These principles are the principles that help the government to formulate policies which help them in serving the people in the right way. Amongst these principles are policies which have to deal with education, social development, and civic responsibilities. As citizens, we all have our rights and obligations. Wherever there is a right, there is an obligation. So with our rights, we've been hearing people saying, I have a right to do this and that. We also have obligations. Some of these policies or sections which I've been talking about that have to do with the fundamental principles of state policy are the principles which the government uses to help the people. And the most important thing about the particular chapter that deals with the fundamental principles of our state policies is that it has a section which makes these principles or these provisions, which are said to be guiding principles, which the government uses to help our people, just unjusticiable. These rights are not justiciable, and so we cannot hold the government accountable for not performing these obligations which the Constitution of Sierra Leone, Act No. 6 of 1991, has placed on them. So there comes in the Third Way movement. The Third Way movement tries to aid the government as an auxiliary movement to fulfill these obligations which they've been tasked with. And one of such duty is civic education.
About the people that in the provinces, how can this movement be a very important Third Way movement to them?
Has established 3 different groups. at regional basis. Currently we have an office in Kenema, we have an office in Makeni as well as Bo. So all of those organizations will start operation as soon as this ceremony is concluded.
So I'd like to know whether we're going to have public lectures, we're going to have one-on-one meetings with people.
Of course, the activities of Third Way movements is very broad, so definitely we will engage in counseling, one-to-one counseling, public lectures. That's why one of the ways we've put in place to achieve those is to have a lot of volunteers which will come on board. Those are the ones that will be going to people, even ourselves. So definitely we will do public lectures. We will have different meetings. We'll engage stakeholders in different meetings, and we'll have one-to-one counseling, especially like if you're doing mental health and social support, you need a one-to-one counseling.
Sometimes these organizations tend to be a threat to governments and those political parties. So my question here is, I just want to know how best the Third Way movement have prepared for those challenges. Sierra Leone is governed by the Constitution, and therefore whatever thing we do it in accordance with the Constitution. And there is a provision in the Constitution which says that every citizen has the right to give a constructive criticism. In as much as we are going to do it constructive, then again we are going to disseminate the message of the civic rights and responsibilities of citizens within the states. And we are ready and prepared. We know there are challenges in any undertaking, and therefore we are ready and prepared to do that.
My name is Issa Muno, the National Coordinator, Third Way Movement Sierra Leone. The Third Way Movement was an idea born by Mr. Sulaiman Fona and Madam Jobson Amumo. The dream of these prestigious individuals come to reality on the 3rd October 2019. The objective of the Third Way Movement is mainly civic engagement, community and rural development in Sierra Leone. The reason for these objectives were the lacking in the area of citizenship education. Therefore, with great team put together and more to come, we are certain that we will achieve our goals. The Third Way is not here to be an opposition to the government, neither political parties. Third Way Movement is here to create an auxiliary to help the government achieve its goals. Third Way is here to change the perception and the narrative people are carrying that I must only support this individual because we all came from the same region. No, Third Way is here to see everyone as a Sierra Leonean and as a patriotic Sierra Leonean. Third Way Movement is here to address issues like psychosocial counseling, as well as educating them not to go against the laws of the land, as well as educating them to know who to put in place when it comes in terms of decision making about who should govern them. Leaders are not their masters, they are servants of the people.